Good morning. Today is March 9th, 2011, and you're with Carolina Considered at Hunting Island State Park. Yes, once again at Hunting Island State Park. It just has to be one of my favorite places to come, so you'll hear more about it than some other places. But who are we talking with today?
My name is Mitch Helms. I'm the interpretive ranger here at Hunting Island State Park.
And Mr. Helms, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. I know you're busy and this is just between meetings, but you're in charge here at Hunting Island of the Nature Center and Fishing Pier. Is that right?
That's right, Bob. And I'd like to welcome you here and thank you for your time as well and putting the word about Hunting Island out there for us.
Well, you're most generous. As the most visited park in the whole South Carolina State Park system, I don't think Hunting Island needs much publicity, but certainly I do appreciate the sentiment. We usually begin these interviews, Mitch, with something personal about where were you born and raised?
I was born in Charleston, South Carolina. And my family resided there until my father was relocated to Gastonia, North Carolina for about 6 years. And then we eventually moved back to South Carolina, Bob, just north of Columbia, near Hartsville, South Carolina.
Hartsville, yeah.
And once I graduated high school, I attended McBee High School in McBee, South Carolina.
You spent your formative years at the South Carolina coast, in fact, didn't you?
That's correct. I grew up in the salt marsh and oceans here along our beautiful state.
Were you allowed to go out and play in the surf, or were you kept in the yard?
No, I was out and about. I remember going oyster culling with my father at a very young age. And we were at the beach almost every day and fishing. And I grew up in the water, Bob. I probably have fins somewhere behind my head.
That's a good background to be here, that's for sure. Were you one of ours at USC Columbia?
Absolutely.
What was your major there?
Political science and journalism was my bachelor's degree. And then I graduated in 2002. With my master's degree in elementary science education.
So you really have a strong background in what we would call the information dissemination area, and that makes sense as I look around at your empire here of how it's arranged. After you graduated from USC, did you have any jobs prior to your Park Service career?
Yes, mainly in I started out in sales, in industrial sales. So I was in the sales field for about 5 or 6 years after I received my bachelor's degree, and then eventually went back to work on my master's in teaching and science education.
Did you actually really teach at all?
I did. I taught 5th grade science in Darlington County. Did a lot of substitute teaching and during my college years, just part-time. And I actually worked at Riverbanks Zoo after I received my master's degree as the outreach coordinator representing Riverbanks in Richland County. So I would take animals from our education department to the schools and present nature topics and programs to the kids of Richland County.
Well, just as an outsider looking in, I must say your education and information dissemination background certainly shows in the way that you have established and reestablished this nature center. It really is a place to get plenty of information about the area. When did you arrive here?
I started here as the program specialist in February of 2009, and I was fortunate enough to achieve the position of interpretive ranger in March of 2010.
And by interpretive ranger, that means you're in charge of the center.
I am the Park Naturalist.
The Park Oh.
And
I didn't realize that.
Absolutely. As a member of the Low Country Master Naturalist Association, I have completed the Master Naturalist program. in addition to be the interpreter. So I'm the Park Naturalist, and we are responsible for all the education programs and daily recreational activities for our guests here on the park.
Is that Master Naturalist program that's run by the Low Country Institute?
The very same one.
Wow. So you finished that as well as your other education?
I am a Low Country Master Naturalist, yes, sir.
Good heavens. That's I had the opportunity to interview Pete Richards and then the Doctors Rawlings, who are your colleagues in that program.
I'm also a member of the Fripp Island Autobahn, which Pete is the president of. I know Mr. Richards very well.
He's a wonderful. Somebody recently described him to me as a spark plug.
Yes,
he gets things. He gets things done. But anyway, you arrived at the center at quite a critical time. I wonder if you could describe the center's role in the overall Hunting Island State Park. This is such a huge place.
We are a 5,000 acre park, 3,000 acres of salt marsh, and 2,000 acres of maritime forest. And so as the nature center and fishing pier, we try to be the bond that binds the park together. We try to incorporate all aspects of the park. We are here at Hunting Island on all one team, and we work together. So our role here is at the Nature Center is to provide daily programs for our guests who visit the park, campers who come and enjoy the beautiful campsites here. We like to provide them opportunities for recreation and education to learn more about the Low Country. It's such a special and unique habitat as a barrier island here. There's a lot to learn. And so we just provide activities for people and of all ages.
Learning opportunities.
Learning opportunities as well as recreational things and just fun stuff to do, to give them things to do while they're here visiting with us on the park.
Nobody asked my opinion, but if I could make one suggestion, I would have big yellow lettered signs up all the way down that road to Fripp Island saying, "First stop, the Nature Center."
Well, thank you very much.
But if people come here first when they come to Hunting Island, they can learn more in a central place about this whole beautiful area.
Yes, they can. We are 3 miles from the campground. So people have to, we do have 8 miles of biking and hiking trails they can take from the campground to get here if they want to walk 3 miles to get here. Otherwise, they can drive. But we are at the end of the park here on Fripp Inlet, and what our beautiful fishing pier. And a lot of people like to fish and crab off the pier and make their way from the campground to discover our wonderful nature center.
I just have to ask you about that fishing pier. Can you describe that for our listeners a little bit? It's an incredible facility.
Our fishing pier was built in 1985, and it's 1,280 feet long. And when it was built in 85, it was the longest pier in the state of South Carolina. And it's located here on Fripp Inlet, where people catch all sorts of species of fish, blue crabs. And there's a 50-foot channel that runs out off the end of the pier where there is an artificial reef that attracts a lot of fish. And a lot of fish are caught off the pier in the summertime, and blue crabs as well, from April to November.
And I hope you have somebody else who's responsible for maintaining that pier.
Well, our excellent maintenance staff to assist with keeping the boards replaced on the pier and keeping it in fine working and safe condition.
I've taken a few pictures of that, but I'm sure they don't do the pier justice. It is a wooden pier that is absolutely incredible. How deep is it out at the end?
Again, 40 to 50 feet off the very end of the pier, there's a channel that runs through.
That channel is
a
about
deep
40 or 50 feet. Mm-hmm. So if you see nothing else, you have to come out and walk that pier, and you have to come in the Nature Center building itself and go through some of the exhibits.